Hi, my name is Maria Perez. My name is Maria, and the last name is Perez. And I'm a nurse here.
Perfect. So regarding today, what are we here for and why are we so outraged today?
We are outraged today because, senseless terrorizing of our community. They killed a patient advocate, an ICU nurse, Alex. His name is Alex, and we want to recognize him as what he was, which is a patient advocate, a fellow nurse. Someone who was out there trying to protect his community, and he was gunned down by terrorists, domestic terrorists that are terrorizing our communities and our patients.
And obviously we know the impact has had nationwide. So again, just here being in Salinas, why do you think he left such an impact on all of us here?
He leaves an impact because nurses are patient advocates both inside and outside the hospital. And our community is a largely Hispanic immigrant community. And our people are scared. We see it in the hospital. They're scared to come in and seek care. They're scared to go to school. A lot of people are carrying their papers with them. Just tonight, my mother and my mother-in-law are here with me, and they asked me, do I need to take my ID? Do I need to take my passport to prove that I'm a U.S. citizen? And that's wrong. That's wrong. There's no reason why people should be carrying paperwork to prove their citizenship.
Great. Anyone else want to share their thoughts?
We just want to remember that Alex Pretti was out advocating for his community and for his patients. He was there because of all of the other people that have been senselessly murdered by ICE prior to his unfortunate assassination. And we'd just like to call attention and remember the names of all of the victims that have been just this year.
Can you tell us your first and last name?
My name is Jean Marl, Jeanmarll.
Are you a nurse as well?
I am. I'm an ICU nurse. And as an ICU nurse, I take care of critically ill patients here at Salinas Valley, and I'm seeing more and more patients coming in with chronic illnesses that they could have received treatment earlier, but they are waiting and waiting because they are afraid, and they shouldn't be afraid to come into our hospitals.
Maria and Jean and Tracy gets out there, our union authorized spokesperson for media. Nobody else should be talking to media. If they come to you, send them to me. They should be reaching out to me, but sometimes they just walk out.
What is your name?
Teresa Mack.
Teresa.
They know
okay,
me.
nice
I'm on the press release. All the media knows me well.
It's okay. I'm just new here.
They don't.
I'm from Chomp, and we're voting for union
Tomorrow
and the next day,
Come in here. We want to get a picture.
Thank you.
Let's give them a union fist. Especially for this vote.
Yeah, that's right. All the hospitals in Monterey County. Imagine that collective power.
Inshallah, God willing, we get to vote. So I've been a Chomp for 20 years. We've tried it before. I used to work at Salinas Valley Memorial for 9 years before that in the open heart surgical area. So my heart's with you guys. And I went over to Chomp to start the heart program over there. It's 20 years now. And people over there, all the youngins are asking, well, why do we need a union?
Teresa, do you want us line in the street? Or no?
Just here. As tight as you can. Okay, everybody. Go ahead, and let's get into a nice formation of group. No. I don't want to get to this thing. We're not yelling and shelling. This is a different kind of action. We will be doing some chanting, but we're not yelling when people honk. This is not a picket.
It's not Monterey then.
No.
It's not
Somber event.
We're here to
Thank you.
protest and also honor not just RN Alex Pretti, who was murdered, but all those others who were murdered by ICE. So we're going to be somewhat solemn, but we're also going to have some chanting at the end. So if everybody could just line up, because when press gets here, hopefully KSPW will be here. And the nurses walk out after their shift, they're going to join us. And I just want a big crowd so that KSBW, the media, can see that our nurses are here, that we do not accept what happened to our colleague or any of the others that have been killed.
Should we spread out?
Not spread out long. We're going to be in a big group. And thank you. Thanks to everybody for coming in. Nurses on days off, retired nurses, a nurse from Chomp who is voting for their union, big deal, and just family and community. We really appreciate it, and this is a moment when we need to come together. That's for sure. Got a lot, and they'll have cameras on the processional cameras. So be okay.
We're there. Everybody's scared.
Just give it a couple of minutes. Media and the union just a press release out. As the nurses know, we don't have like 300 nurses call them and nag them all day. They don't think we're important. So whether they're here or not, what is important is that our community and our nurses showed up. Because we know that whether or not the media is here, the real power is our collective power. And let me tell you, as we see across this country, it is the only damn power that this regime in the White House is paying attention to. So we are going to get started. We've got some structure to what we're going to do tonight. And, the folks that were going to be our media spokespersons are going to have some things to say. But I also just want to say, and I'll repeat this when our nurses walk up shift, that if nurses want to say something, I'm going to ask you to come up and share what you would like to share. Because I think, I know I've spoken to hundreds of our nurses. Nurses are in shock. Nurses are angry as hell. Nurses are in mourning. And the nurses that I've talked to, in fact, one of our nurse representatives today wondered what it would have been if that was them. Because we protest injustice all the time. This is what our union nurses do. We do this as a matter of course. And we do this on behalf of patients, and we do this on behalf of our community. And so we're going to have to stick together. The union nurses will always run out there to do what's right for their patients. But as we can see, this time they shot a registered nurse to death right in front of all of us, because we saw it on video. That's not normal. We shouldn't be watching fellow citizens or anyone, immigrants, anyone, murdered on social media by our government. That is criminal. It is wrong. We are in a moral crisis. Screw a moral moment. We are in a moral crisis. And it's time for people like our nurses and the values that they share to pick a side. Because there is only one right side of what's going on. There is only one. And it's not a matter of if. It is a matter of when, in one of the largest areas of immigrants, a history of immigrants in our city, where they're probably going to come here. And if they do, our nurses are working on creating a rapid response for all hospitals. They are being trained by our union, and we are going to hold our employers accountable. And I think one of our nurses tonight has some things to say about that. I was watching a news program today in between working probably at a hospital, talking to nurses in a break room somewhere. I don't even remember which hospital. And they were interviewing a young legal observer in Minnesota, Minneapolis, where they have terrified and tyrannized the people, our fellow people. And they asked her, how many people have come out, how many of you signed up for legal training and legal observer of what ICE is doing? You know, ICE, kidnapping and snatching human beings out of their homes, luring parents with their little babies. That's not right. And she said over 145,000 regular people have volunteered. And they asked her when the first killing, well, not the first killing, because there's been many, of Renee Good, when she was murdered in cold blood in front of our eyes on television and on social media, did people back off? Were they scared? And she said, of course we're scared. But it doubled in number. Minnesota, Minneapolis, they are teaching all of us what we need to be doing. We, the people, will never be defeated. We, the people, will never be defeated. We, the people, will never be defeated. Yes.
The people will never be defeated. We, the people, 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 will never be defeated.
Remember that one power of our solidarity? You know, in the union movement, we live by our solidarity. It's not just a word, it's a verb, and we live it, and we take action to do it. But the rest of us, we have solidarity with each other too. Just regular people. And we have so much power. They need to recognize that in our government. We've had to tell them that a couple of times over the past in our history. And this is that time. This is our country. And I'm going to be clear about something. I don't care if you're an immigrant or not. We're all immigrants. Unless you're a Native American, you are an immigrant. And no one, not one damn human being is illegal. Right? Nobody is illegal.
Right.
How dare they call another human being that? It is outrageous. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to one of our nurses, and she'll introduce herself. And I think she has some words to say because, see, you can't count on the press. but you can count on us. We will always show up when we need to for each other.
Friends, thank you so much for coming out and showing your support. One of the most important things that we want to talk about is that we're here because of Alex Pretti, but we're here because of what he was standing for, right? Alex Pretti was one of us, and he was standing up for his community, and he was standing up for against the atrocities that were happening in his community, like us nurses always do, right? We have, can you guys come up here if you have one of these posters? So there were, besides Alex Pretti, there have been 9 people that have been murdered by ICE in this country this year alone. It's only January, friends, and the month isn't even over. This is unacceptable. You can't tell me that you don't have the funds for universal health care, but you have the funds to give $87 million to untrained assassins to go running through our streets, killing our citizens. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Okay? People should be able to get basic health care in this country and not have to have that tied to their employment, not have that tied to their immigration status. That is a human right. And we have to remember that that's what Alex was fighting for. Okay? Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jean.
By the way, we want to take a picture of our nurses with these signs. I don't want to appropriate what our fellow black citizens do, and I don't like to appropriate things like say her name. But we can definitely hold them up and refuse to not forget them. So I just want to get Wes. I'm going to count on his far better photography skills.
Hi guys, thanks for coming out. Appreciate everybody coming, especially on short notice. My name is Tracy Chavez. I am the California Nurses Association Chief Nurse Rep at this hospital. And I just want to say that I was approached by Dr. Radner about, I don't know, a couple hours ago. He said he would be out here to support us on the street if we just did it earlier. I think it was a little close to his bedtime, but that says something big. And so, yeah, I do appreciate that. And it's really hard going after Jean. I'm blinder than a bat, so here we go. So I am a registered nurse in the ICU. I've been at this hospital since 2004. Tonight, union RNs are here at Salinas Valley and across the nation. We are grieving in the days since the brutal killing by ICE of fellow ICU VA nurse Alex Pretti. As registered nurses and community members, I know that this has been incredibly difficult for so many of us to process. I admit I'm struggling with it myself. But as a union RN, I also know that we always stand united to speak the truth to power. As nurses, we use collective voice to call out injustice wherever it exists. And make no mistake, this was a murder. Mass federal agents killed one of our own this past Saturday. We lost a colleague, a fellow unionist, and someone who dedicated his life to caring for others, including American veterans, as an ICU nurse. We are here tonight both to honor Alex and to send our deepest condolences to his family, friends, and fellow nurse colleagues. And because the current administration has smeared his name and distorted the facts about who he was, I believe it's only right for us to share the words of those who knew him best, his parents. This is a statement they released after learning of his murder and hearing the unacceptable lies told about him by government officials. We are heartbroken, but also very angry. Alex was a kind-hearted soul who cared deeply for his family, friends, and for the American veterans he cared for as an ICU VA nurse. Alex wanted to make a difference in the world. Unfortunately, he will not be with us to see his impact. I do not throw around term hero lightly. However, his last thought and act was to protect a woman. The sickening lies about our son by the administration are reprehensible and disgusting. Alex is clearly was not holding a gun when attacked by Trump's murdering and cowardly ICE thugs. He has his phone in his right hand and his empty left hand raised above his head while trying to protect the woman ICE had just pushed down, all while being pepper sprayed. Please get the truth out about our son. He was a good man. Thank you. I would now like to take a pause and ask everyone to take a few moments to honor our fellow nurse, Alex, in whatever way feels right to you. As we mourn our colleague, As we mourn our colleague, we also express our outrage at his killing and at the countless lives lost due to brutal immigration enforcement. In this moment, we cannot be silent. We cannot remain silent. We cannot allow this to happen again. I ask you to join me in calling your representatives in the House and Senate this week and demanding they vote no on any funding for ICE and DHS. Thank you all for being here tonight in solidarity, and thank you for standing up for what is right and fighting for justice for Alex and for all the victims of ICE. This is what we say to injustice. You take on one of us, you take on all of us. You take on one of us,
You take on all of us.
you take on one of us.
You take on all of us.
Thank you.
Wow, I turned around and it was bigger. That's amazing. I wanted to ask if there is one of our nurses feel like there's something you would like to say. I think you need to be honored as well. I've fought many a battle alongside these nurses for their patients, of which I have been one and will again. We will all, and our family will all need a registered nurse, whether we want it or not. And thank God we have these fighting union nurses that fight so hard and advocate for us and have union rights to do it safely. Because management, whether it's this hospital or anywhere, the healthcare industry is always trying to cut and take away and make them do more with less. And that comes on to the backs of their patients. And so I know how brave they are. I know they're just regular folks like us. But I sure wouldn't want to go into a fight like this without the nurses. And that's why I think it's so horrible that one of them was murdered like this, and that anybody's getting murdered. So if one of the nurses would like to come up and say something, we're not going to judge you. In fact, we're going to honor you and stand right here in solidarity with you. But we wanted to give our nurses a moment because this is a lot.
Hi, my name's Lori Freed.
Really close.
I'm in the ICU here, and I've worked here for about 10 years now. One thing I can tell you is I am angry. I am angry what is going on in our country. This is not our country. I cannot and will not think that this is our new normal. This cannot be our new normal. We cannot wake up every day to someone, one of us, being shot for exercising our rights. This what our country has been founded on. It just cannot be normal, okay? I know there's a lot of kids out here. It's probably past bedtimes and stuff. But I just refuse to let this world be like this for our kids. We can't let that happen. I'm gonna echo exactly what Tracy and Jean said. Teresa, please call your representatives, email, call, write, I don't care, just do something. Like, now is the time.
March on DC.
This cannot be our normal.
My name is Sandra Martinez. I work in ICU. I think I know most of them from my time in union organizing. One, I want to say thank you for coming. I know that it takes a lot of us, our meal times for family times, and I know that, this was important enough for you guys to show up. I appreciate it. I am with the sentiment of being angry. I've been angry for the longest time. The first time Trump was in office, many of us organized with the Immigration Task Force locally, and we were advocating, educating. We went from schools with parent clubs trying to get this our community empowered by knowledge, knowing that ICE was going to come. This second time, they are deranged. It is worse than the first time. They are just crazy, racist, even worse than last time. And so our community needs us more. And so the question is, what do we do? In my mind, I keep thinking, do not remain silent. Do not let this normalize. Find a way to speak your voice. And what I mean with that is everyday things in your community. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. If there's an organization that you want to join, don't think about it. Don't think, am I going to be good enough? You will be more than good enough. People have a lot of faith in us as nurses and our families. Do it. There is an organization, for example, this Saturday, I don't know who's putting it on, that's teaching us how to learn the rules or how to advocate for those that do not have a voice. If you are a U.S. citizen, use that privilege and go and find these people, find these groups and say, how can I escort a kid to school so the parent doesn't have to risk being deported? How can I help someone to advocate and film while ICE is in there? What are the rules? I don't know, but you will find a voice if you keep looking. Just keep your eyes and ears open. The best thing I can think right now is your church communities and the labor organization. Central Labor here in Salinas, you can just call them and they will, I guarantee you, they will have ways to contact you, or just contact Teresa, because she's always up to something and she will know how to connect you to people. So I want to say thank you for coming. And Alex, you don't know what you have unleashed. And I'm sorry that it had to be this way. Thank you.
I think nurses' words are healing. Even if they get me so fired up, I want to march all the way to D.C. by myself.
I want to march on D.C.
Well, we don't have to march on D.C. We can do it right here in our little community. Because like I said, it's not a matter of if, right? It's a matter of when. He hates Trump. And I throw that out there. I'm going to throw this out there right now. Again, like I said, this is a moral crisis moment, right? We have to put right above any partisan BS. I know there's kids here. I'm trying to remember that. We have to. We all know right from wrong. I don't know if we all read the Bible or were raised up in church, but I know the golden rule. Do unto others as I would want them to do unto me.
Amen.
And that is where we all need to be. I'm mad at those feckless Republicans, and nurses are mad at those feckless damn Democrats. Neither one of them are doing anything.
Right.
All they're doing is talking.
Right.
While they're watching us get slaughtered.
Right.
By this Gestapo, this KKK, right? These monsters that are hiding their faces. Now you know that's not normal. That's some dictator crap right there. You don't hide your face. Our police officers don't hide their face. What are they hiding from? They're ripping cameras out of people's hands before they murder them. They don't want us filming what they're doing because they know this is wrong. And we know it. And Americans and human beings all over this country have been waking up and standing up. And I'm quite frankly proud of that collective anger. I'm very proud of it.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming out. My name is Maria, I'm a nurse here in the ED, and first and foremost I want to give Alex's parents and co-workers my most sincere condolences for their loss. And I want to thank everybody for coming out here and showing your support for a fellow nurse. Because nurses are not just patient advocates inside the hospital, but we are also patient advocates outside of the hospital. We fight for our communities and for what's right. And you know, healthcare as well as human dignity is a human right. There's no reason why people should be trampled on, scared to go out into their communities to seek healthcare, to go to school. Education, healthcare, those are human rights. Being treated like a human being with dignity is also a basic human right. I want to encourage everybody to call their senator, their congressman, let them know that they need to vote no on the $10 billion, that's billion dollars that they're giving an untrained group of people that are not vetted, that are out there terrorizing our communities, terrorizing children, families.
Shame.
Shame, exactly. Shame. And shame on this government that is twisting the facts. We have video that shows that what they are slandering against Alex is not true. Imagine for all of those individuals being detained by ICE that there is no video. Imagine all those people in the detainment centers. I don't know if any of you have seen the news. They have been calling for an SOS. There was a group of children in a detention center, I believe it was in Texas, that were calling out, set us free. They are in deplorable, in English, that's correct, in deplorable conditions. They are hungry. There is not enough food. There is not enough blankets. There is not enough space for them to even go to the bathroom, do their daily activities such as showers. Those are all basic human rights. And this is down to a moral dilemma. Is this right?
No.
This is not right. And we need to stand up and say it is not right. One of our signs says, our patients have no borders, and that is correct. When I treat somebody in the ED, I don't care what your nationality is, what your current immigration status is. All I know is that you are a fellow human being in need of care, and that's what I'm here to do. And as a nurse, I feel it's my responsibility to be out there every day advocating for what's right for our communities and our fellow human beings in this nation. I want to encourage everybody, like I said earlier, to please let your congressmen, your representatives know to vote no on further funding of these terrorists, because they are truly the domestic terrorists, not all these peaceful protesters that are out there right now fighting for our rights. And I'm also going to throw Salinas, Indivisible Salinas out there. If you're looking for an outlet on a way that you can participate, please look them up on their Instagram, their TikTok, their Facebook. There's also Indivisible Monterey. There's a lot of different outreach groups out there that you can participate in, or ask in what way you can possibly participate. But this is no longer a moment for silence. You can no longer stand by and not take action. And by you being out here today, you're taking action, and I thank you for that.
So our media showed up. Thank you, local press. So again, thank you for coming. I'm pretty sure this is about 150 people. You think, nurses? Pretty sure. Pretty good turnout at last minute notice. To community nurses, family, want to thank all of you. So, and the nurses have said it far better than me. I just want to yell at bosses. That's really all I want to do. I'm a labor rep. But now we've got some yelling to do at the brutal Trump administration. And we've got one side, and that's the good side, the good people side, to stand on. And, you know, I don't know if you heard, but supposedly that short runt, Bovino, that's been leading those monsters with, weapons of war around in mass over their faces. He got fired today.
Reassigned.
Good luck in El Centro.
El Centro.
Yeah.
Good luck in El Centro, one of the nurses said, because that's where he's coming back to. No moment of peace, buddy. Not if our nurses and our communities can help it. But that didn't happen because of our folks, these elected representatives. That happened because the people, the power of we the people. That's what happened. And we're not going to stop demanding. We don't want them in any of our communities. We want ICE out of all our communities. We want them out, away from our churches and our schools, where little kids go to learn. We want them out of our hospitals. We will not be silent, right?
Right.
We will not let them do this to us. Now, this country's not perfect. This country was founded on colonialism and slavery. That's the truth of this country. But you know what we did, us people? We held 3 phases of the civil rights movement and the women's movement. And you remember those folks called the braceros? Our Latina brothers and sisters who came over and are still coming over and getting exploited to keep us eating the best damn fruits and vegetables and salads and having flowers on our tables. Those people, those are our people. Those are our people. They are us. We have to advocate for them. The nurses are going to be forming their community action committees across the state and across the United States. We're going to be forming one right here in the Central Coast. And we're going to figure out how we can work with other groups and other labor unions and all our people. And we're going to be getting food out to folks that are scared because they might be abducted. We're going to do that because that's the human right thing to do. And I want to call on all of you, like Sandra said, little kids, one of our nurse representatives, her parents have worked, for the schools for a long time, union folks. And she was telling me, and this is last year, months ago, how her mother said like 1,000, 1,500 kids didn't show up to school because they're terrified that their mom or dad might get snatched coming to pick them up. What kind of horror? Can we really watch that? I can't, but I'm watching. I'm keeping an eye on what they're doing to all of us. We all have to watch. We have to be outraged. We have to come together. We're ingenious folks when we come together. Us regular people. What?
Hold them accountable.
Hold them accountable. That's right. So, and say some closing words. Never give a union organizer a microphone. Tonight, as we gather to both mourn and show our respect for our union brother and fellow VA nurse, Alex Pretti, murdered in broad daylight by federal masked ICE agents, we are also outraged at his cold-blooded killing, as well as that of Renee Nicole Good, just a few weeks before him, and all the others whose lives have been illegally cut short, like Maria said, and illegally ended by Trump's brutal immigration regime. And like she said, all the ones with no cameras rolling. There's a little 5-year-old boy named Liam that's burned into my mind from social media, ripped away. Trump tried to deport him and his father yesterday. Can you imagine that garbage? But Minnesota stepped up, and there's at least a temporary injunction. We need to be that injunction. all the time for all of each of us. One thing CNA nurses never do, right, is they don't look away. That's right, they don't back down, and they don't look away. And we all got to be like that. On the contrary, our union nurses will never stop advocating for their patients, for our communities, and they have never and will never stop fighting for justice. That's why while we stand in solemn silence today for Alex and all the others, we have to also raise our fists, raise our collective anger, raise our collective power together, and take action. A famous lady I like, because I'm a union person, is Mary Harris Jones, better known as Mother Jones of the 19th century. She was cut short by, I don't know, one of those diseases that these idiots are taking all of our vaccines away that we killed a long time ago. Right? But her name was Mother Jones. And there's the saying, it's pretty well known: mourn for the dead and fight like hell for the living. Yeah! That's what we're going to do. So I also want to call all of our community back. I want you to tell everybody, because he's going to do more outrageous things until we get him out of office. Until we get him out of office. And by the way, let's all vote them all out of office until they give us, like, written promises. That's what the nurses do. We don't endorse a damn one of them. And we'll endorse anyone, independent, Republican, we don't care. But you got to commit to nurses' values. That's why they don't want to come and get endorsements from the nurses. Our union is militant and unapologetic about fighting for health care for all and many other things. That's just what we do. We all need to be like that. I'll be damned if they don't owe us a hell of a lot of our tax money back. And more than that. So I want to end this with the call to action. February 19th is our union's National Nurses United, California Nurses Association, National Nurses United. You'll see that, CNA, NNU. We're going to have our National Day of Action on February 19th. We're calling all 4 hospitals in the area to come here, right here where we're at, and we're certainly going to raise some cane about all of it. And we're going to have some other opportunities where nurses can come and help train the community, because they've had some of the training for if ICE comes into our hospitals and what they can do. And we all need to be holding these healthcare employers, right, accountable, because they'll just let them in. That's what they've done all over the United States. They're not doing that here in Salinas. Oh no, because we're going to have our patients and the people behind us. We also need to keep them, if they do show up, we got an old tool in our toolbox, as we the people, called the boycott. Cesar Chavez used it very, very effectively. Remember that grape strike? You bet.
National strike, yeah.
You bet. We're not ready for that. We're not ready for that. We got to get the other unions there, and they're way far away from that. But we can do many, many other stands without doing that. So I just want to say, please, I'm calling you, everybody, please be here February 19th. We'll blast it all over social media. We don't have a time yet. You know, nurses work 24/7, 365 days a year. So we try to do it when it's most effective, when they're walking off shift, or we can catch you beforehand. Now, we can't end something that a union started without doing a union chant. We usually say when the nurses are united, but there's a lot more than nurses here. The people united will never be defeated. 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 The people united
will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
And I think our nurse rep can say it better.
When we fight, we win. When we fight,
We win.
when we fight,
We win.
and we will win.
That's right.